Hello student, very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. Do you remember what were we discussing yesterday? I think we were discussing about the nature of oxygen function. Nature of oxygen function because we are actually discussing or actually learning the point, the general method for structure determination of an alkali of terpenoids. And as we know that so far we have discussed first point is a molecular formula, second one is the detection of unsaturation, and the third one is a nature of oxygen function. If you remember the nature of oxygen, it is present in the various functional group such as oxygen present in alcoholic OH group. Second one, it is present in carboxylic group COOH, as well as it is present in carbonyl group, may be aldehydic or ketonic. Then it may be present in oxo group, COCH2 group, or it may be present in acetyl group COCH3. There are different methods to identify or to detect the presence of these different functional groups containing oxygen atom. As we know that alcoholic group is present, we can detect it by using the reagent like acetic anhydride or phenylisocyanate. By using these two chemicals, after formation of the product, one form monoacetyl derivatives and another one is a urethane derivative. From that we can draw the conclusion the terpenoid containing only one hydroxyl group. So likewise we can identify, we can detect the functional group present in the terpenoid whenever we have discussed these functional group in a detail, as well as we have learned whenever it required the mechanism, the detailed mechanism we have also learned in some of the cases where it is necessary. And as we know that mechanism means what? A detailed study of sequence of steps which are involved in conversion of reactant into product is known as mechanism. And in the organic chemistry, mechanism is nothing but as a language of organic chemistry. And as you know that those are knowing language, they can express their thoughts before the person or before the society. Similarly, those chemists knows the mechanism very well, they can predict the product, because for predicting the product it require the, because mechanism is a logically you must know behind it the reason how that atoms are involved in the process of and the resulting compound is formed. So in that way we have learned these things. So today what we are going to discuss, look at the board, that is so far we have learned 3 points. Number 1, molecular formula. Number 2, detection of unsaturation. And number 3 is nature of oxygen. And right now we are discussing the degradation products. Degradation product means what? The oxidation is more important in the structural determination of terpenoid. Remember, oxidation is more important in the structural determination of terpenoids. The oxidizing agent, like there are different oxidizing agents, but here specifically while studying, because we are discussing the general method for structural determination of terpenoids, the oxidizing agent like acidic or alkaline potassium permanganate, then H2O2 hydrogen peroxide, ozone, performic acid, or what we can call it as a peracid, then CrO3 potassium, CrO3 chromium oxide, then NaOBr sodium hypobromide, etc. are used for degradation. By studying the degradation product, we can find out the position of the double bond, primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol present in the terpenoids. This word is very important as far as this degradation product is concerned. Let us revise this statement. I am repeating this statement once again. Listen carefully. By studying the oxidative product, we can find out the position of olefinic double bond, primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol present in alkaloid. So let us have here the example. Let us consider here the example one by one. First one, A is alkaline potassium permanganate, KMNO4. Alkaline potassium permanganate, as we know that alkaline means what? The solution of that potassium permanganate are prepared in alkali, means in maybe as a sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. That is the meaning of that alkaline. And if the first point here, if compound containing olefinic double bond, it gives dihydroxy compound, means glycol. Remember here, if the compound containing olefinic double bond, it gives dihydroxy compound, means glycol. Let us consider here The example CH double bond CHR I am taking as an example here. We can call it as it is a alkene, or the old name of that alkene is a olefin, right? And these olefin, when treated with alkaline potassium permanganate, the oxidation reaction takes place. The mechanism of this reaction we had already discussed, we have already learned in our previous semester, in the third semester. Let me recall that the name of that chapter where we studied the detailed mechanism of this reaction. Remember the chapter number 4, I think. Yes, chapter number 4, the name of that chapter, the reactions of unsaturated hydrocarbons and carbon oxygen double bond. In that we have learned this. It gives a cis hydroxylation. Cis hydroxylation means what? Whatever hydroxy groups are there, they are coming in the product. They are approaching on the same side or on the same phase, and the resulting compound obtained as a cis hydroxylation with the help of stereochemistry. When we are getting as a meso compound or DL pair, means racemic mixture, that kind of the stereochemistry also we have learned detailed mechanism in our previous semester, in the third semester. Here I am just mentioning only the product. Here we are going to get R, CH, OH, then CH, OH, and this R. Cis hydroxylation, or it is called as a glycol, or it is known as 1,2-diol or vicinal diol, we can call it. Vicinal diol means what? Both the hydroxy group, they are present at 1 and 2 position, are known as vicinal diols. 1 and 2 position, adjacent carbon atom, if both the functional groups are present, same one, hydroxy group over here, here also as a hydroxy group, and therefore they are known as a vicinal diol also. And remember, from that we can detect the position of double bond in a alkali. Second point, trisubstituted olefin gives ketone and acid. Second point, what is that? This is a disubstituted, we can call it. Here is a trisubstituted alkene. Trisubstituted alkene or olefin. Trisubstituted alkene or olefin gives ketone and acid. Gives ketone and acid. As we know that the general structure of the trisubstituted alkene or olefin, let me draw here, carbon-carbon double bond, here R, then CH. There are 3 alkyl groups are there. For suitability, we can designate as R1, R2 and R3. These reaction carried out with the same reagent, alkaline potassium permanganate. This is oxidative reaction. O indicate as a oxidation reaction takes place over, and the resulting compound, as we know that, which is written over here, C double bond O, this R1 R2 and plus that is a carboxylic group R C double bond OH. By studying the product of the compound, we can come to know what kind of the olefin is it. It is a trisubstitute if the product obtained as a or product containing or product involve ketone and acid, it proves that the substrate or the terpenoid are trisubstituted alkene or olefin. So that type of the inferred we can get here. Let's move on to the third point over here. Let us see here another third point. Before studying the third point, let me clean the board here. Now the third point, this one, the third point, primary and secondary alcohol are stepwise oxidized to acids, while tertiary alcohol are not oxidized by alkaline potassium permanganate. Remember over here, as we know that primary alcohol, right, RCH2OH, it is known as a primary alcohol and it is designated as 1:0. Then secondary, suppose RCH, then R, which is known as secondary alcohol, because alcohols are classified into three types: primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and the tertiary alcohols. R, here R and OH, it is a tertiary alcohol. If you observe this reaction, observe this structure carefully, what do you see here? Look at CH2OH. It means that it is a primary alcohol. When there is a CH-OH, it is a tertiary alcohol. When there is a carbon and hydroxy group, the carbon which does not carry any hydrogen atom, it clearly indicates that it is a tertiary alcohol. So in this way, you can easily distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Let's look at the reaction when we are going to treat these primary, secondary and the tertiary alcohol with the reagent potassium permanganate. What is going to happen? Suppose you treat that primary alcohol CH2OH, that is a alkaline potassium permanganate KMNO4 oxidized. What it gives? That primary alcohol first converted into as a aldehyde, and this is oxidizable. It is further oxidized, resulting compound form is a acid RC double bond OH. This is the product, that is a carboxylic group we are getting over here. And suppose this is a primary alcohol. Suppose you have another example here, R then CH OH are then the same reagent alkaline potassium permanganate KMNO4 oxidation reaction takes place. Now here you are going to get RC double bond O, R dash here. Here we are getting as acid and here we are getting as a ketone, right? When there is a primary alcohol, the resulting compound obtained will be carboxylic acid. If the secondary compound, secondary alcohol, the product obtained will be ketone, and if there is a tertiary alcohol, R, then R, OH treated with alkaline potassium permanganate KMnO4, oxidation reaction takes place. What do you get here? There is no reaction. No reaction means tertiary alcohol do not get oxidized with potassium, alkaline potassium permanganate. It remains as it is, and by knowing the nature of the product, you can easily distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol with the help of potassium, with the help of alkaline potassium permanganate. Now let us move on to the next point. First point we have seen the reaction with alkaline potassium permanganate, whereas now we are going to discuss the reaction with second oxidizing reagent B, that is CrO3, that is a chromium oxide. It brings about stepwise oxidation of alcohols similar to alkaline potassium permanganate. It being strong oxidizing agent, it also brings oxidation of tertiary alcohol. Remember, this is the reagent, it is a strong oxidizing reagent, no doubt about it, but just now we have seen potassium permanganate also oxidizing reagent. When it oxidizes a primary, secondary alcohol into the corresponding acids and ketone, it do not oxidize tertiary alcohol, but chromium trioxide, it is a strong oxidizing reagent which can oxidize primary alcohol, secondary alcohol as well as tertiary alcohol also. And let us see the next oxidizing reagent, that is the next one will be the ozone, right? O3, that is the ozone. You might be knowing about this ozone O3 molecule, right? Ozone molecule, where it is present. Do you remember? Ozone molecule is present in the stratosphere. Remember environment. Do you remember as a environment means what? The envelope of air around the earth is known as a environment, and that environment has four regions. Depending upon their height, it is get classified or it is get divided into four types. Number one is called as a troposphere near the earth. After 50 kilometer onward, that is a stratosphere. It is a very important sphere present in the atmosphere. And third one is called as a mesosphere, and the last one is called as a thermosphere. These are the four regions of atmosphere. In the stratosphere, one thin layer is present. That layer is due to the ozone layer. It playing very important role as far as the mankind or the what we can call it as organism is concerned, human being is concerned. Whatever plants, organism or human being alive on the earth, that is due to the ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere. It playing the important role similar to as a blanket which we are wearing during the winter. And what is the role of that blanket we are wearing during the winter? It is protecting from the cold. Similarly, ozone layer is protecting us or the earth from harmful rays like cosmic rays, ultraviolet rays or hot rays. It get absorbed in that in that region. It is and only but due to some man-made evolution, industrial evolution, there are some gases goes in the atmosphere like as a CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, that damage that ozone hole are created, and due to that reason that ultraviolet rays or cosmic rays directly falling on the earth and they are causing sunburn or skin cancers. So such type of the toxicity is, or what we can call it as a adverse effect is occur in a human being as well as in a plant, or what we can call it as a whatever organisms are on the earth. So this is some addition, what we can call it as some information regarding as ozone. But as far as chemistry point of view is concerned, ozone means what? It is playing role just like as a what we can call it as a wood cutter. So it is breaking the carbon-carbon double bond as far as organic chemistry is concerned. And when it is breaking as a carbon-carbon double bond, we are getting as a small fragmentation, and studying that fragmentation we come to know the position of the double bond in the alkene. So that is one of the chemical method for the identification of or for the detection of carbon-carbon double bond in the alkaloids. So this is means ozone means it is a process of breaking down the carbon-carbon double bond is known as ozonolysis. And as you might be knowing, the ozone molecule can break the carbon-carbon double bond. Let us see here, three oxygen atoms are there. They are present in a various form like this. Here is a minus charge, here you can write as a positive, and the lone pair present in that. 3 oxygen atom, it is present in this manner. So there you might be knowing as a resonance canonical form of that ozone molecule. So these double bond or these negative charge forming as a double bond over here, and negative comes over here. So you can write the resonating structure of that ozone molecule like this. Here O double bond, and then minus charge over there, positive charge comes on that oxygen atom, or this double bond can neutralize this charge, so that you can get O minus charge over there oxygen atom. When this double bond shifted from here to neutralizing the positive charge, what type of the charge present on the terminal oxygen atom? It carries the positive charge, so it is known as a 1,3 dipolar. Dipolar compound is obtained over here, and this is going to react with, it is very helpful to determine the position of olefinic double bond. First one, let us see here the terminal alkane. First one, the terminal alkane after ozonolysis gives formaldehyde as one of the product. Let us see over here how we can get here R, then C double bond CH2, and then R1 R2. This is a terminal alkene we have considered here. When it is ozone molecule is react with this, let me show you the mechanism also over here. Here let us draw this. Here is a positive charge, here is a negative charge. What is going to happen? This negative is going to attack on this carbon atom, this double bond attack on that positive charge, so that we are going to get RC, here R1 R2 as it is. Now this CH2 I am writing as it is, then here oxygen, and this oxygen atom, whatever intermediate form over here, it is known as a ozonide, monozonolide, this is called monozonolide, and this is going to break in this manner. So let us see here this double bond breaking here, and this double bond negative charge over there, and this lone pair is forming as a double bond here. So see the arrows has very important role over here while showing as a mechanism, and you are going to get here R, C, then R, this is R1, R2, and now look at here C double bond O, I am writing this way, and now this CH2 as it is, now I am writing this one is a O here and O minus over here. This is a positive charge, these spaces I am writing above, so that I can show you the mechanism, clarity of the mechanism. Now what is going to happen? This negative charge is going to attack on this carbonyl group, and this double bond is going to attack on this carbon atom, and this positive charge get neutralized. Look at once again the arrows, how do I show these arrow over here. Now let us see here R, then C, here R1, R2 once again, then here 2 oxygen on one side, then here is a CH2 and 1 oxygen atom is like this, and whatever this compound intermediate is formed, it is known as ozonolide. This is known as a ozonolide. This is a compound, and when this ozonolide treated with their zinc oxide in presence of H2O, the resulting compound, again zinc oxide, you can write here Zn. So what is going to happen again? Here this I am showing here, this is forming as a double bond over there, and this bond breaking over here. So here, and I am showing here Zn, that oxygen atom goes along with that zinc oxide, right? And the final product you are going to get here R, then C, R1, R2, double bond O, and plus this one H, C, double bond O, H. This is a formaldehyde, and one of the product is a formaldehyde, and this is a, you can call it as a ketone. Whenever there is a double bond is there, if the double bond is present at the terminal position, one of the product is always formaldehyde. It clearly indicates that there is a what we can call it as a, there is a terminal alkene is present in the substrate or in an alkaloid. Understood this? With the help of mechanism, we have shown these degradation product, how the fragmentations are obtained over here. So this is there. Now let us look at the another example of that, ozonolysis. Let me show you here again. These are the compounds. Now let us have tetrasubstituted alkene gives diketone. Second point, tetrasubstituted alkene, tetrasubstituted alkene gives ketones. Whenever there is a ketone is obtained, that clearly indicate that there is a tetrasubstituted alkene is present. R, C double bond, C, here R1, R2, then R3 and R4. When it is treated with ozonolysis in presence of zinc and water, it gives 2 moles of R, C double bond O, R. Here you just remove that designations, only we are getting as a ketone. And that clearly indicate that there is a, what we can call it, the carbon-carbon, that is a tetrasubstituted. If trisubstituted is present, one will be the ketone and another may be as a aldehyde, that is acetaldehyde type of the compound, or maybe another, depending upon the nature of the substrate, we are getting respective products over there. I think with this, let us we have discussed degradation product. Among that, some of the oxidizing reagent or like OSO4, performic acid, these are the reagent we will discuss tomorrow. Let us wrap up today's lecture. So with this, let us stop today here. Remaining we will see in the next lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day.